Transcendentalism.
Can you put that in the beginning?
Say Transcendentalism.
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 Trannies.
Welcome to my web show. This is Mr. Thoreau. I'm just going to ask him some questions about his stay in the wild. What was your initial thought of going into the wild?
Well, at first I was a little hesitant, but I decided it would be a good idea so I could practice what I was thinking. Instead of just being a person that talks, I could actually do the actions.
Good, good. Were there any surprises?
Not really, other than running into a couple wild animals that I wasn't expecting. But other than that, everything went according to plan.
Interesting. How has your viewpoint changed after this experience?
Well, I agree a lot more with Emerson now. All you need is simplicity, simplicity, simplicity. You don't need all this junk that society's giving us.
What did you miss the most about society?
Well, the main thing I miss about society is having the people to talk to and friends that if I had a problem, I could go ask for help.
What was your inspiration to move forward with this project?
After reading Emerson's writing, I realized how caught up I really was with society, and I realized I needed to change.
Interesting. What did you forget at home that you wish you brought with you?
Definitely an extra pair of underwear.
Why?
Because I needed one.
What transcendentalist was most influential for you?
That's a tough question. It definitely comes down between two people, either Emerson or Margaret Fuller. I'd have to say Margaret Fuller, though. Her work seems to be more from the heart than Emerson's. Emerson seems to be more of like nagging at people. I like Margaret's work better.
Cool. So, Mr. Thoreau, out of the 5 tenets, nature and beauty, confidence, self-reliance, civil disobedience, and individuality, what is the most important to you?
Man, why do you keep coming up with these hard questions? But I would have to say nature is my most important one to me because every day when you walk outside, you get to see something different in nature. It's not always going to be the same. So every time you walk out of your house and you open the door, you might see a rabbit in front of you, a deer, or there might be nothing.
What a great viewpoint.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Was it a good experience?
Oh yeah, I'd say it was a good experience. I learned a lot, and I really grew in my thoughts for transcendentalism.
Transcendentalism, you mean?
No.
Thoreau, how did you pick Walden Pond?
Well, I just started walking in the woods one day, and I found this pond, and I fished there before, and I realized that that'd be a perfect place to do this experiment, if you want to call it that.
Interesting. What is the number one thing you learned from this experience? Like, out of everything you absorbed in that 1 year, what was the biggest thing that you were going to live your life by?
I would say that I learned, man, you and your tough questions. I would say that I learned that no matter what happens, there's always going to be something that you can do to make it better. Like if it's raining, you can't look at it that the rain's making the day bad. You have to look at it like the rain can be peaceful sometimes. So when you hear the drops, you can't think, oh darn. You have to think of something good, like it's hydrating the other plants, which will become beautiful later.
That's great.
Holy
so
crap.
we've been talking. Okay, we've been talking about transcendentalism this whole time, and I don't even know if our viewers know what that means. So could you explain it a little further so it's easier for them to understand?
Yeah. Transcendentalism is basically a lifestyle. It's not necessarily a religion or a belief, but it's more of how you live your life. Like, for instance, instead of going to church every week and going through the same routine, you can go out into nature and do whatever you want so that you become closer with the world. Like, going out and just seeing the sunset for an hour can benefit you a lot more than going to church and hearing the same thing that you heard last week over again.
So is it more of a spiritual thing, like getting
It's
to
more,
connect?
yeah, more of you connecting into yourself, and like it shows you how to. You get to like mark your. You get to make your own decisions, which is really nice. Like you get to be an individual, not a big group.
That's one of the tenets, isn't it?
Yeah, individuality.
There you go.
That was
What
like
was
30
the-
seconds too.
I know, that was a good one. Okay. What was the hardest part about being alone for so long?
Well, I think that the hardest part was not necessarily being lonely, as in not having anyone there, because you can always go outside and like see like some kind of wildlife, and that'll make you feel a little less lonely. But you're always missing that communication with like an actual human being. That's always going to be. You're going to need that a little bit every now and then.
Didn't I read in your book that you would host dinner parties without the dinner?
Well, it wasn't really a dinner party. It was people. They came by. If they came by, I let them in my house and we hung out. But I couldn't feed them because I didn't even have enough food for myself. So, really, if they walked away hungry, I didn't feel bad about it. I just could sympathize that because that's how I feel all the time.
Gotcha. Okay, could you please tell me about one of your experiences, just like when you were out on a walk, you saw something crazy, or something that happened to your house, or just something that happened like in everyday life?
You mean like a three-headed snake?
Sure.
No, I'm just kidding. Well, there was one instance when I went out on a walk to get some exercise, and then I came back, and there was a raccoon in my house, and it ate all my stuff, so I got really mad at it. So, long story short, that raccoon ended up being my supper that night.
And what does raccoon taste like exactly?
Definitely chicken.
Like chicken? Did you make a soup, or did you put it in a crock pot, or
I roasted it.
like over a fire?
Yeah.
Crafty. What is your idea of the American dream for everyone, not just yourself, but like a whole world?
I think the American dream really means here in America, you can do what makes you happy. You're not really bound by any rules, except for rules that protect other people. So as long as you're not hurting anyone else, you can basically do whatever you want. So as the American dream, I would say, just do what you want, and the reason it's an American dream is because you can do it here, and you can't do it anywhere else.
Is this your American dream? To do whatever you want?
My American dream is more or less, not necessarily that I can do whatever I want, but that I can express what I want and not have to worry about being prosecuted for it.
That's really interesting. It was great talking to you, Thoreau.
Yeah,
I
thank you.
really liked your insight on how to live life. So, thanks again for coming to my web show.
Yeah, no problem. You should go out by yourself for a year. It's a fun time.
I'll try that.